I moved into my house around 4 months ago now. Just me. It's the first place I've ever had to myself, and it's quite pleasant. A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house I've been renting out in the quiet suburbs, the type of neighborhood you'd see a billboard, featuring a stock photo of a family with a golden retriever, the kind of place where the mailboxes match and the people give a smile and wave when they walk by. It's nice, although I do get the occasional dirty look, being a metalhead in my mid-20s. Long hair, painted nails, and shirts with intangible lettering featuring gutted demon corpses doesn't quite go over well with the middle-aged dads taking morning jogs, catching a glance and giving a look that says, "If I was drinking coffee right, now I would have spat it out." Can't say I don't enjoy the attention, though. After being alone for so long, any acknowledgement of your existence gives a sense of relief. But recently, the attention I've been getting has felt hostile. I don't know how to describe exactly what the feeling is, but it's similar to the sinking feeling of being watched. The people I've seen walking past are no different, still smiles, and the occasional gag. But it's the eyes on me that I can't look back on that's truly bothering me. I would jot it down as normal paranoia, except for one factor. The feeling is only there when I'm outside of my house. In my front yard, backyard, driveway, or even if my garage is open, the feeling is there. At first it was nothing to mind. I'd sit on my porch nearly daily, sipping a mixed drink with my dog, a Welsh corgi named Mosh sitting beside me. The feeling would arise every once in a while, but I'd just shrug it off and give Mosh a scratch on his head. Mosh would occasionally look towards a fence, up at a tree, or even just look directly out into the empty road in front of us and start to growl or bark. But I'd just quickly say out, before he gave the neighbors a reason to complain. That was the first month. After a month, the feeling became closer, more apparent. When I'd leave for work in the morning, I constantly felt as if something was centimeters behind me, tracing my exact movements, so whatever it is could stand as close as possible while avoiding contact. Of course, I would snap my head around to find nothing there. But if I focused on the corner of the house for long enough, I could just picture a figure with its shadowy hand grasping ridged brick corner, peeking over just enough for its eyes. To show its full eyes, pale white sclera and solid black pupils, I could picture it, see what it might look like, but that was all. It didn't take long before I started sprinting to my Jeep in the morning. It's not like it was any more than 12 feet away from my front door, but it made me feel comfortable. It's not like I had anyone to explain myself to, and I'd much rather run away from nothing than get caught by something, however childish it is. Getting into my car gave me the same feeling as being 5 years old again, flipping a light switch off and running to my brightly lit room. It felt safe. Initially, that only ever happened in the morning, but after some weeks it became a constant in my daily life. Not only leaving for work in the dark morning, but returning home in the afternoon, taking the dog out for a walk, grabbing the mail. Once that started happening, it was only a matter of time before I went from doing nothing more than giving a deep sigh before I opened the door, to having a foot race with whatever the hell it is down my driveway. Once I reached the sidewalk, though it would always go away. I started taking medication my 3rd month here. I had gotten the recommendation from a co-worker to get meds for anxiety after we were dead at work, and I accidentally told him about my issues. Sometimes my mind just goes on autopilot and decides to let my mouth do whatever it wants. Nevertheless, I took his advice and ended up seeing a doctor and getting a prescription for an antidepressant that also helps with anxiety and paranoia. It helped at first, but not completely. I still felt it, but the meds made it easier to ignore. I could walk calmly. Hell, I could even sit out on my porch again with no need to run away from its gaze. After a week of simply ignoring it, the feeling went away altogether. The meds had worked, and I had gotten rid of whatever it was that my brain was tricking me into feeling the presence of. I beat it, so I decided to stop taking the meds. They had always made me nauseous, and I hated that. Looking back on it, I never should have stopped, because a few days later I would discover that they would never work again. My bedroom is on an outer wall of my house, a window that gives a view of nothing but a thick thorn bush, likely planted there by an old owner, who didn't want any of their kids sneaking out late at night, for if they tried, they would end up leaving a blood trail all the way to whatever house party. they'd go to. The bush is what gave it away. After the feeling had gone from outside, life was great. I'd wake up energized, an underlying happy feeling to every day and fiat motivation behind every action I took. That was until one night, sleep just seemed to escape me. It wasn't too bothersome, it was just hot, and my AC had been acting up, so I wasn't running it too cold to save my wallet. It had to be around 3 or 4 when I decided to get up for a glass of water, walking through the dark to the kitchen, every action taken producing a noise amplified by the silence of the night. The knock of the plastic cup I grabbed from the cabinet, colliding with the metal of the nozzle of the sink, the loud static-like sound of the running water out of the nozzle. There was an almost relaxation to it all. That was until I heard a resonate, high-pitched squeak sound from down the hallway, from my room. The unmistakable sound of a skin rubbing against glass. I put my cup down on the counter after downing my water and stared down the hallway. The glow of the light in my room, the only light on in the house, seemed almost threatening to me in that moment. I almost wanted to stay in the confines of the darkness until I heard Mosh begin to growl. "Mosh," I whispered sternly, sounding as if I was trying not to wake anyone who may be sleeping in the house, although I was alone. "Mosh," I said again, walking slowly towards my room. When I reached my room, I peeked my head in to find Mosh on my bed, having put himself behind my window curtain, standing on his hind legs, still growling silently. "Mosh, dude, what are you doing?" Realizing he must have been growling at some sort of early morning bird he'd seen out the window, I was relieved of all tension. I walked to the curtain, and I speedily pulled it back so Mosh could see me and alleviate his instinctual anger towards the wildlife. But as soon as I pulled the curtain back, the thorn bush smacked hard against the glass. The impact and the sound made me jump backwards. My tired mind was immediately snapped awake, fear and confusion immediately entering my thoughts, but above all, the feeling was back. While my mind spiraled to find an explanation for the sudden noise, I noticed the bush having an obvious indent right next to the window, as if someone pushed themselves between the two and was looking through, straight into the curtain. It was. Then when I walked briskly through my house, to my bathroom grabbing my bottle of medication, hands shaking and fumbling the bottle until I could get it open. After downing 2 pills with no water, I took a deep breath, hoping it'd take the feeling away once again. That was 3 weeks ago. The following week, the feeling persisted. I discovered that moving rooms helped momentarily, almost suppressed the feeling. After a while, though, each room felt just as bad as the last. Now I've been sleeping in the small bathroom. Just a blanket and a pillow, but the feeling can't seem to reach me there. If anyone has any idea what this thing is, or if you're experiencing something similar, please let me know. I'll post an update if anything changes. I've taken off of work, told them it's for a mental health break. I just can't bring myself to go outside. I don't want to be where its eyes can see me. The eyes belonging to that I've never seen. The eyes I pray never meet my own.